The mass movement against water charges has scored yet another victory. It's set to score 2 victories in a week, forcing this government to reverse scandalous effort by the private waste companies to hike up waste charges to utterly extortionate levels, and later in the week this government will be forced to climb down on its effort to inflict water charges on people. And of course, the movement against water charges itself was a child of the movement against waste charges. Many of the people who formed the core of the groups in communities and towns and villages up around the country were the very same people who had fought against bin charges 10 or more years beforehand. And at the time, Minister, we said the following. When we were fighting the bin charges, we said bin charges would lead to prices going up and through the roof. We said bin charges would lead to privatisation. We said that bin charges would lead to the deterioration in conditions for workers in waste collection. We said that bin charges would lead to an increased damage to the environment in the form of fly dumping, and we said bin charges would be followed by water charges. On every single count, we were right. Every single count. And at the time, and this is the worst about the old politics, you knew we were right. You knew we were right. Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil knew all of these things would happen. And the level of dishonesty, as Deputy Coppinger has suggested, is absolutely extraordinary. I heard it echoed from Minister Varadkar earlier on, and it was repeated endlessly by the Labour Party. The lie that those of us who fought against bin charges were responsible for privatisation when the vast majority of waste collection services in this country were privatised before our campaigns against bin charges even began. Most of the waste charges in this country were privatised in the 1990s. Our campaign only began in 2000 in Dún Laoghaire and 2001 in Dublin City. Where were the last places to be privatised? Dublin City and Dún Laoghaire, where there was a fight. They were all privatised everywhere else beforehand. And just as we predicted, the racketeering bandits, what a shower of bandits these guys are. And you see, what the Minister's response in saying, oh, well, we're responding to the concerns that have been raised and so on, is what he's not accepting is just how greedy these people are, what they were willing to do. That they were willing and trying to ratchet up charges by 50, 100, 150 and 200%. And all we're getting from you is a promise that that won't happen for 12 months, but no promise it won't happen in the future. And you see, we've been down this road before 15 years ago, because we got all those promises then. There would be waivers. It wouldn't be so bad. It wouldn't cost people so much, and all turned out to be lies. So do we believe in 12 months' time that, in fact, the government aren't right now colluding with those bandits in the private waste company who wanted to rip people off to this extent to ensure that they stay in business rather than that we have a fair waste collection system? No, I don't trust you, Minister. Sorry, I don't. Why do I not trust you? Because Phil Hogan in 2012 chose the more expensive model, and he knew it was the more expensive model. Why? Because the private waste companies told him to. Why did Alan Kelly bring in a ridiculous statutory instrument that triggered this in the first place? Because he was lobbied by the private waste companies. Why will you not pass? Why will you not pass this, which will cap the charges and reintroduce waivers? Why won't you do it? Because the waste companies don't want you to, Minister. That's why. Because for you, you have to balance your loyalty to these profit-seeking bandits over what is a jury that has come in on the private waste industry and on privatisation.
Time is up.
They have made a mess of private waste collection. They are racketeers, they are extortioners, and they should be put out of business, Minister. And we should bring it back into public ownership.
Thank you, Deputy Boyd
and have a fair way to pay for waste collection.